Have you ever noticed how life seems to be a constant stream of reactions? Something happens and suddenly, you're caught up in a whirlwind of emotions or stress. But what if there was a way to stay calm and centered, no matter what life throws at you? That's where non-reactivity comes in. It's like discovering a hidden strength you never knew you had. Imagine being able to solve problems more easily, feel genuinely happier, and even grow on a deeper spiritual level. All of this is possible by mastering one simple yet powerful idea. It might sound too good to be true, but stick with me, and I'll show you how not reacting can completely transform your perspective on life. In the next few minutes, we'll explore this fascinating concept together. By the end of this video, you might just see the world and yourself in a whole new light. Ready to uncover the secrets of inner peace? Let's begin. The power of non-reactivity. Non-reactivity is about pausing before responding to events around you or thoughts inside your head. It's a practice that's been valued for thousands of years in Eastern wisdom traditions. Think about how often you get annoyed at traffic, upset over a comment, or anxious about the future. Non-reactivity is like pressing pause on these automatic responses. Instead of jumping into frustration or worry, you take a step back and observe. This simple act of not reacting is incredibly powerful. It's what many philosophers have called calmness, a state they considered one of life's greatest treasures. As the Buddha wisely said, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." Buddha. Imagine water hitting a rock. The rock doesn't fight back or try to change the water, it simply stands firm. That's non-reactivity in action. Like that steady rock, when you practice non-reactivity, you become a pillar of calm in a chaotic world. This doesn't mean becoming emotionless. It's about choosing your responses rather than being controlled by knee-jerk reactions. And as we'll discover, this choice opens up a world of possibilities. Living in the present moment. Now that we understand the power of non-reactivity, let's explore why living in the present moment is so crucial. It's easy to get caught up in regrets about the past or worries about the future. But here's the thing, the present is where life actually happens. When you're fully present, you're not reacting to memories or imagined scenarios. You're simply experiencing what is. This state of awareness is incredibly powerful. It allows you to see things clearly, without the fog of past experiences or future anxieties clouding your judgment. The renowned spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle puts it beautifully. Realize deeply that the present moment is all you have. Make the now the primary focus of your life. Eckhart Tolle. By focusing on the now, you naturally become less reactive. You're not caught up in stories about what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow. Instead, you're fully engaged with the reality of this moment. This doesn't mean you never plan for the future or learn from the past. It's about finding a balance, using those thoughts when they're helpful, but not letting them dominate your awareness. When you master this, you'll find that many of your reactions simply fade away, leaving you with a sense of peace and clarity. Remember, the present moment is your point of power. It's where you can make choices, take action, and truly experience life. By staying grounded in the now, you're setting the stage for non-reactivity and all the benefits that come with it. The observer mind. Now that we've talked about staying in the present, let's dive into a powerful technique that can help you do just that. Developing the observer mind. The observer mind is like a calm, quiet part of you that watches your thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. It's the part of you that can step back and say, that's an interesting thought, without immediately reacting to it. Imagine your mind as a clear sky, and your thoughts and feelings as clouds passing by. The observer mind is like watching those clouds from a distance. You see them, but you don't try to grab them or push them away. You simply let them float by. This idea isn't new. In fact, it's been around for thousands of years. The ancient Indian text, the Bhagavad Gita, talks about this concept. The yogi whose mind is fixed on me verily attains the highest perfection. By equanimity of mind, he remains unaffected by happiness or distress, heat or cold, honor or dishonor. Bhagavad Gita. Developing this observer mind takes practice, but it's not complicated. Start by just noticing your thoughts. When you catch yourself reacting to something, pause, take a breath. Say to yourself, I'm having a thought about, or I'm feeling. This simple act of noticing creates a tiny gap between you and your thoughts or feelings. And in that gap, you find the power to choose your response rather than just reacting automatically. Remember, you're not trying to stop your thoughts or control your feelings. You're just watching them like clouds in the sky. Over time, you might notice that the sky of your mind becomes clearer, with fewer storm clouds of reaction brewing. By cultivating this observer mind, you're taking a big step towards mastering non-reactivity. You're creating space for calm, thoughtful responses instead of knee-jerk reactions. Understanding the mind and ego. Now that we've explored the observer mind, let's dive a bit deeper into understanding how our mind and ego work. This knowledge is key to mastering non-reactivity. Your mind is like a non-stop thought factory. It's always churning out ideas, memories, worries, and plans. And that's okay, it's just doing its job. The tricky part is that we often mistake these thoughts for reality. Enter the ego. Think of the ego as the I in all your thoughts. It's the part of you that says, I want this, or I don't like that. The ego loves to react because reactions make it feel important and real. Here's where it gets interesting. The famous psychologist Carl Jung once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. What Jung means is that when we're unaware of how our mind and ego operate, we're at their mercy. We react automatically, thinking that's just who we are or how life is. But here's the good news. Once you start observing your mind and recognizing the ego's tricks, you gain the power to choose. You can decide whether to buy into a thought or let it pass. You can notice when your ego is pushing you to react and choose differently. This doesn't mean fighting with your mind or trying to destroy your ego. It's more like befriending them. Oh, there's my mind worrying again, you might think. Or, I see you, ego, trying to make me react to that comment. By understanding these inner workings, you're less likely to get caught up in the drama of your thoughts. You can step back, take a breath, and respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. The illusion of external reality. Now let's talk about something that might sound a bit mind-bending at first. The idea that what we see as reality might not be as solid as we think. Have you ever noticed how two people can experience the same event totally differently? That's because we're not just seeing the world, we're interpreting it through the lens of our thoughts, beliefs, and past experiences. In a way, we're all walking around in our own personal movies. We're not seeing reality as it is, but as we are. This idea isn't new. In fact, the ancient Indian philosophy of Advaita Vedanta talks about this concept. There's a famous quote that sums it up nicely. The world is as you see it. It is not either good or bad, it is only your thinking that makes it so. Ramana Maharshi. This doesn't mean the world isn't real or that your experiences don't matter. It's more about recognizing that our reactions often have more to do with our interpretations than with the events themselves. Think about it like this. When you're watching a movie, you might feel scared, sad, or excited. But you know it's just a movie, right? You don't jump out of your seat to save the hero. In the same way, we can learn to engage with life without getting completely caught up in every twist and turn. Understanding this can be incredibly freeing. It means that by changing how you see things, you can change your whole experience of life. And that's a powerful tool for non-reactivity. Remember, the goal isn't to disconnect from life, but to engage with it more consciously. By recognizing the role your mind plays in shaping your reality, you gain the power to choose your responses more wisely. Emptiness and self-realization. Now we're going to explore a concept that might seem a bit paradoxical at first, emptiness. But don't worry, we're not talking about feeling empty or hollow. This is about something much more profound and liberating. In many Eastern philosophies, emptiness is seen as the key to self-realization. It's about emptying your mind of all the concepts, judgments, and beliefs that you've collected over time. It's like decluttering your mental space. The famous Zen master Shunryu Suzuki put it beautifully. In the beginner's mind there are many possibilities, but in the expert's there are few. Shunryu Suzuki. What Suzuki is getting at is that when we empty our minds of preconceptions, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and deeper understanding. This practice of emptying isn't about becoming a blank slate. It's about creating space. When your mind isn't cluttered with reactions, judgments, and old thought patterns, you can see things more clearly. You can respond to life from a place of wisdom rather than habit. Think of it like this. If your cup is already full, you can't add anything new. But if you empty your cup, you create space for fresh experiences and insights. Practicing emptiness might involve sitting quietly and letting thoughts pass without engaging with them. Or it might mean questioning your beliefs and being willing to let go of ideas that no longer serve you. As you practice this, you might start to realize something profound. Beneath all your thoughts and reactions, there's a calm, aware presence. This is what many traditions call your true self or your essence. It's always there, but it's often obscured by the noise of our busy minds. By cultivating emptiness, you're not losing yourself. You're discovering your true self. And this self-realization is the ultimate key to non-reactivity. When you're grounded in your true nature, external events lose their power to throw you off balance. Consciousness and awareness. Now that we've explored emptiness, let's dive into something that might seem like its opposite, but is actually closely related. Consciousness and awareness. Consciousness is like the backdrop of all your experiences. It's the you that's aware of your thoughts, feelings, and sensations. It's always there, even when you're not paying attention to it. Awareness, on the other hand, is when you turn your attention to this consciousness. It's like shining a spotlight on your own mind. The spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle describes it this way: the ultimate truth of who you are is not I am this or I am that, but I am. Eckhart Tolle. What Tolle is pointing to is that beneath all your changing thoughts and emotions, there's a constant, unchanging awareness. This awareness is peaceful by nature. It doesn't judge or react, it simply observes. When you start to recognize this awareness within yourself, something amazing happens. You begin to identify less with your thoughts and reactions and more with the calm, observing presence behind them. This shift in identity is powerful. Instead of being caught up in the drama of your thoughts, you can watch them come and go, like clouds passing through the sky. You're no longer at the mercy of every passing emotion or thought. Practicing awareness is simple, but it takes consistency. Start by taking a few moments each day to just be aware of your breath, your body sensations, or the sounds around you. When thoughts come, gently let them go and return to simple awareness. Over time, you might notice that this awareness starts to infuse your daily life. You become less reactive because you're operating from a place of calm awareness rather than automatic patterns. By cultivating consciousness and awareness, you're developing the ultimate tool for non-reactivity. You're learning to live from a place of peace, regardless of what's happening around you. Healing through non-reactivity. Non-reactivity can be a powerful healing force in your life. When we react automatically, we create stress and tension. Non-reactivity allows our body and mind to heal and restore balance. The ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu understood this well. He said, "Do you have the patience to wait until your mud settles and the water is clear?" Lao Tzu. When we stop stirring up the mud with our reactions, clarity naturally emerges. By choosing not to react, you give your body and mind a break from the stress response, allowing for natural healing. This doesn't mean ignoring emotions or suppressing feelings. It's about creating a space where emotions can flow through you without getting stuck. By practicing non-reactivity, you're promoting healing and balance. Transcending the ego. Non-reactivity helps us transcend the ego, the part of us that's always comparing, judging, and trying to prove itself. The spiritual teacher Ram Dass once said, "The quieter you become, the more you can hear." Ram Dass. As we become less reactive, we start to see beyond the ego's constant chatter. Non-reactivity creates a space between you and your thoughts, allowing you to observe them without getting caught up in them. This watching presence is your true self or essence. By connecting with this essence, the ego's grip loosens, and you can respond to life from a place of wisdom and compassion. Embracing the flow of life. Non-reactivity helps us embrace the natural flow of life. Life is constantly changing, and resistance creates suffering. Lao Tzu beautifully captured this idea. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. Lao Tzu. By going with the flow, we align our actions with the natural current of life. This doesn't mean becoming passive, but responding wisely to what is. As you become less reactive, life starts to feel easier. Problems that once seemed huge begin to solve themselves, and opportunities you might have missed start to appear. The practice of non-reactivity is about discovering your true nature. The great Indian sage Ramana Maharshi said, "Your own self-realization is the greatest service you can render the world." Ramana Maharshi. Through non-reactivity, you uncover a sense of peace and clarity that's always there, beneath your thoughts and emotions. This is your true nature, boundless, aware, and inherently at peace. Non-reactivity isn't about suppressing emotions or becoming passive. It's about choosing your responses consciously, from a place of clarity and understanding. Be patient with yourself, and with each moment of awareness, you'll align more closely with your true nature. And that ultimately is the greatest gift you can give yourself and the world.